it logically shouldn't have been an assist. Right? It took too many deflections before it went in. So
You and I should be extremely angry right now.
If the keeper is
yes,
being obstructed,
yes.
call the foul. If you're not calling the foul, give the goal. How was your wildcard game week?
You got a point less than me without playing a wild card, bro.
Yeah, we were
Look at
just
that man there who beat us both. Look at him, how he's smoking.
Just by rolling a transfer off Bilal's advice. It was
what? Yeah,
great.
what advice did I give you that made you roll the transfer?
So you tried to convince me that Saka probably wasn't worth it this week. Palmer also not being worth it this week either. And I said that we can probably bring them in the week after with a little bit more view on how they perform in the big game. And I said, okay, I'll roll it and see what happens. And that extra transfer gives me some extra flexibility, I guess, within the team. So I went for it and it paid off quite nicely.
I tend to have like a rule of my own that if I'm unsure, I roll. But
I
now,
made the silliest decision, but I made the silliest decision as setting up my team, and I still can't understand why I did this. I ended up playing Flecken instead of Cells,
I was gonna
and
ask
Cells
you
had a
that.
home game to Palace, and Flecken was playing away to Man United, and I was like, what in the world was I thinking, setting my team in this manner? I think all just the negativity around Man United made it seem like I had a feeling they both might concede, but I had a feeling Flecken will make a lot of saves. So I said, let's go with that one. And yes, it blew up in my face quite badly. I think every week now I've had good
Bench,
points on the bench that I haven't
yeah,
used. Yeah.
because you even have the Everton defender on your bench with 7 points.
Mm.
You and bench pain.
Ish. It's been bad this season, really bad.
We can look at the meme of the week, which is another topic of its own. You were discussing the FPL cartel. Talk us through it. What is the FPL cartel? Because I have no
It's
idea
so
what it is.
funny. Yeah, so I mean, I was actually reading about it a lot, and it seemed like a lot of the guys did the Saka to Son move very late in the game week, and so apparently there's this view going around on Twitter specifically that a lot of the guys are getting information and not sharing it with the community. I think there was something that happened. I don't know, it was last few weeks back when we towards the end of last season, where a player wasn't going to make it, and a lot of the FPL content creators made a big move that worked out in their favor and they took a big play out. For example, I can't remember who the player was the last time, but I know this time it was Saka moving to Son, and it became a very popular transfer. So they consider all these people that are getting the information late the FPL cartel. And that's why I think there was a lot of negativity around it. And the funny thing is, there were a couple of content creators that were very vocal on social media this past week saying that Son assist, which in my mind, like I mean, I understand why it logically shouldn't have been an assist, right? It took too many deflections before it went in. So I was surprised that they actually ended up giving the assist. And I think FPL themselves were posting a lot of information. They were deleting tweets, adding tweets. It became very complicated the way they managed it. And I mean, this specific meme was one of the content creators because he's been on the FPL show a few times recently as well with Holly Shand, I think, who's one of the regulars on the show as well. So it's him telling her to make sure that she logs in and removes the points. So it was hilarious how it actually played out, and the chaos and the controversy that it caused on Twitter was quite great.
Yeah, I find.
And to make it even more interesting is they have a WhatsApp group. Few of the content creators have a WhatsApp group, and some screenshots got leaked from that group showing some of the guys like, advising the others that Saka hasn't traveled with the squad and stuff like that just before the deadline. And then to make it even more interesting, Andy took Saka out at 11:59 and 30 seconds when it was way too late for anyone else to copy his move. It was crazy.
It sounds all shady. I've never seen something more shady in my life. I was surprised to see how many people did the Saka to Son move. I think logically it made sense. So even if Saka didn't travel, Spurs just have better fixtures. It
Mm.
was worth a risk. I think if you knew Saka's out, it's a big bit of information to leave out, and it's very suspicious that someone would make that transfer with seconds remaining on the deadline.
But I mean, to be honest, to be fair to I think Andy specifically, I did watch a bit of his stream this weekend. He did mention a few times here that he's really considering Saka to Son consistently throughout his entire stream.
Mm.
It was odd that he did last month, but he did also post, I think, some screenshots today of him doing last minute transfers about 3 times before, and there's nobody questioned it then. Why is it becoming such a big topic now, effectively, which I found quite hilarious. But I think it's just controversial because of the stuff that's happened over the past few weeks. I think even that account, Big Man Bucker or something,
Yeah.
he also has been involved in some of those controversy before where I think where the last time where there was a play that he specifically made the transfer and didn't share the information. It was him again this week doing the Saka to Son one, which
The
that was entertaining to say the least.
I don't think like people realize how close these guys are to the actual players because they are known in the community, but they're known to a lot of presenters and people with who have uh, leaks into the team, the actual team. So it's a it, they do get information a lot more accurate information than what anybody else would get. So
No, but I think it's a nice excuse for the community to use against them also for themselves because I mean they get it wrong as much as they get it right. So
Mm.
in their defense, I mean I think that they share as much as they can, and sometimes people just like to look for
yeah,
problems.
at the end of the day, it is a game, and everybody's just playing, trying to win, and have fun. It's nothing too serious. There's no money on the line except for
No,
Razeen
but
and
some people do pay money, no, to watch these content creators and to be on the exclusive channels and stuff like that.
yeah, but I
So
think
because they're making
yeah.
money off the platform, people expect them to be honest with like the information that they give. And I feel like they are. I don't think they intentionally hide anything. You get just to avoid certain things, sometimes they'll tell you like, look, when we're playing our wild card, we're not gonna reveal this or reveal that. But if you watch them closely enough, you'll know what they're thinking and you will be able to do what they do if that's the game you want to play. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel everyone should use their advice and still play their own game. But I mean, you do you, you know?
Mm. And what about the Son assist? Why did they give it and take it away? It also seems like they were put under pressure to take it away.
It's the cartel, bro. The cartel. The cartel allowed it because everyone in the cartel added Son, so they had to give Son extra points. And then
I
I
was
think
sure
once
it was
they
a Son
realized they got
assist when
found
I
out.
first saw it. And then when I
Mm.
saw the replay, I realized, okay, no, it was own goal from the other direction, whatever. So I was so
It
happy
had
when
to
they gave it because I
too
felt
many
like I didn't
deflections.
deserve it and I got it. I
It's
Yeah.
was so happy.
too many deflections,
And
but
then
I
I was
think
back to the game.
once you make the decision, you must just stick with the decision.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just causes issues. Um,
But the
I
best part about the decision was that they never gave it first, and they gave a reason as to why they never gave it, removed the post, then gave the
yeah.
assist points, and then removed it again. I think that it shows inconsistency. Or they're probably not confident in their own rules, which is unfortunate.
So the next question and the last question probably around this topic is: do the influencers or the people who make content do they have influence over the actual people running the game? Because it seems
I
like
don't think so.
I also don't think so. I think that's
No,
but it seems
I
like
think it's very far-fetched.
they're making moves based on pressure. That's what it looked like. Very poorly done.
But I think they got questioned in the sense where so I know from what I've been reading, FPL use Opta as a source for a lot of their goals, assists, and the like. So initially, when they had added the assists, they effectively went against what Opta usually would have said because it was seen as an Areola own goal on Opta, and they gave it as a Areola own goal but a Son assist, which technically didn't necessarily make sense. But I guess to be honest, if it went either way, if they just stuck with the decision, I think there would have been individuals irritated on either side. So I didn't really think it mattered as long as they just went with one way and stuck with it.
We
If
gonna
anyone, I should be extremely angry right now. But I'm calm because I mean, I look at it over and I was actually I felt like I got some points unfairly. So I'm willing to give it back very
I'm disappointed that
grudgingly.
you're not part of the FPL cartel. That's the thing I'm
I was
actually
gonna
disappointed
say
about.
I think you're part of the cartel because you brought in Son very late. Let's be
Hey
honest.
guys, please. I told you guys, bro, in our WhatsApp group. So you guys had that opportunity to come in with me on this, but you guys rejected it. So all my backdoor moves will now be made without you guys knowing.
I'm gonna transition into the fixtures. I mean the results of the fixtures.
The Southampton one and Leicester game, I thought that was going south very quickly
Yeah,
and shame.
Shame. I also think.
Shame.
That game always has funny results and stuff to it. Remember the 9-0 a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
I just.
No, the 90 plus 8 was sad, man. That was a late goal.
Yeah, but I'd also
Yeah.
like again, like I know we spoke about it earlier, but I'd like to talk about VAR again, because I feel like there was a lot of bad decisions again this week. I don't know how you guys felt. Like we can start with the Southampton Leicester game. One, I don't think there was a red card for Fraser. Very little in it. And if anything, the opposite happened on the other side with that Ayu, and no penalty was even given. So like
Wow.
I just saw the highlights, so I didn't catch it in real time. But I genuinely thought that was very obvious and very unfair for Southampton. I think they'd be very disappointed with that. The Fraser red card, there was very little in it.
How many seconds are we gonna go? How many more minutes are we gonna go without pretending like Arsenal didn't lose 2-0 to Bournemouth, your guys' best defense in the league? What's the story?
I'm so happy that Arsenal conceded again.
Mm.
But I also don't think that's a red card, in all fairness. It's just too far up
Just
the
too high
field.
up the pitch, man. Yeah, it's too high
Just up the
up the
field.
pitch.
You can't give a
And they're
red
not
card.
appealing it. Did you hear that? They're not appealing it, so
Yeah.
he will miss the Liverpool game.
But at the same time, the inconsistency, if you give it a red card, give it a red card. Chelsea did the same thing to Salah. No red
Exact
card.
same thing.
Exact same
Exact
thing.
Yeah,
same
and it
thing.
wasn't.
And,
Yeah, and
and
the
The
yellow
yellow
seemed
card.
fair.
the yellow
Seemed
seemed
fair.
fair.
Yeah.
The yellow seemed fair. I think like as a defender in that position, when that happens, you bring the player down. It's cynical, but you get the yellow and you hold up play. I think it's very like to call that last man. He needs to do so much to score from there. I'm upset about the City game because that would have been an even better result for Liverpool
That
had
goal,
City.
what are we saying? Maybe it could have been disallowed. Should it have been disallowed? Did you see the
No,
old
I don't
manager's
think so.
comments?
I
I
think
don't think
I
so. I
think we
think it was
spoke about
fine.
it. We spoke about it before that they need to make a decision on the goalkeeper. Not offside, foul. Can't be, oh, was the keeper obstructed after the goal has gone in? If the keeper is being
Yes,
obstructed,
yes.
call the foul. If you're not calling the foul, give the goal. Arsenal scored
Yeah.
in the same manner against City, so I feel like City are doing the same thing now. And unless they address the situation, I feel like corner kicks are going to be like this from now on, and the
Yeah.
keeper's
They,
going
ha-
to
they, they have to call the foul early.
they
It's the
have
only
to,
way to stop the controversy.
yeah.
When the ball went into the net, the goal was given, right?
Mm-hmm.
The
And
goal was
then
given.
VAR called the referee to the screen,
Yeah.
potentially to ask him to have a proper look and disallow it, but he still gave the goal.
No,
Usually, when you
no.
go to
I
the
think
screen,
no. The linesman's flag went up. So the referee gave it. Linesman's flag went up, and then after the
oh,
linesman flag went up, they called the referee to the monitor to say, because to check whether the goal was actually valid. Because I think the
okay,
linesman felt
so
that Bernardo, because I don't think he could have seen that Bernardo was within the sight of the
yeah.
ref from his angle, or from the
So
keeper's
usually
angle.
that whole thing of when the referee goes to the monitor, the decision changes, that's still in place. You guys
Hmm.
still haven't seen that not happen that way, right?
I've only
Yeah.
seen it not happen in other leagues, not in the Premier
Yeah,
League,
not in the
though. In the
Premier
Premier
League
League,
as
it's
well.
always been like that.
But I
Yeah.
was actually in shock. I assumed that I caught that. I wasn't fully focused. I was doing other things at the time, but I just thought that that's what actually happened. And that when he moved, when he stepped up to the monitor, I thought, okay, they're just allowing this goal. I was actually happy. And then he gave the goal, and I was like, okay, wow. And I never bothered rewinding because I was so gutted that City won. So I just ignored it and I moved on with my game.
Yeah. Personally, I think the referee made the right decision in that sense based on how everything is going. I don't think it was offside, is what I'm saying. I think
Yeah.
Yeah.
if there's anything, you need to look for a foul of obstruction, and by then, I don't think it was a big obstruction. Bernardo Silva wasn't doing that much. I think, to be honest, if Bernardo Silva wasn't even there, I think the goal goes in. It was a great header. The keeper was just nowhere
Hmm.
close to it. Um,
But sometimes, like, I mean, keepers are so good with their reactions, right? And I mean,
yeah.
how many times have you seen keepers save those close range headers without anything near them because they're expecting it a little bit better? I mean, this it does distract the keeper because I mean he's not set to move in the right direction. So it is complicated, but but you are right. I think they need to fix that rule. So if they feel the keeper's being bothered, call the foul. But this season they said they're going to be a little bit more cautious with calling those fouls on the keepers. And I think
Yeah,
it's been relatively consistent. I haven't seen many occasions where keepers have been impeded that they've actually been blowing for the fouls as much as they were previously.
Spurs versus West Ham, 4-1.
Once he introduced Sai in the second half and added some legs into that midfield. And I think that same substitution, had it happened against Brighton in the previous game at 1-1, at 2-1, for example, at 2-1 up,
Mm.
I think we run away with that game and probably finish with a very similar scoreline. So I think he actually decided for once to try and impact the game earlier and it made a big difference. Huh? It's unfortunate for Madison. He wasn't playing badly when he went off, but I think Kulusevski is in such great form that if you want an attacking eight, it's got to be him over Madison at this point in time.
What did you think of Kulusevski?
He's ridiculous at this point in time. He's unplayable. I mean, chance creation at the moment, ball carrying. I mean, he's adding goals to it, assists to it as well. So, I mean, he's actually impacting the game much more than he was. I mean, I think he also had a great run for Sweden over the
Mm.
international break as well. So, I think he got a goal or two in that spell as well, and a couple of assists. So, he's really transformed his gameplay in midfield. And surprisingly, I think in his initial years he was playing as a midfielder and then got transformed into a winger at Juventus. And then I think Poste- Postecoglou's formation is really good for him because it gives him freedom to attack. But it also he's got a great work rate, right? So from a midfielder's perspective, he'll get back, he'll make the tackles, he'll press when you need him to. So I think his impact on the team's been really great this season.
And who do you think now is the Spurs asset to have? Say I'm looking to bring in a Spurs asset. Do I get like I can bring in Pedro Porro, I can bring in Udogi, I can bring in Madison, I can bring in any of the midfielders basically except for Son. But Son, if you have to rate it, who would you bring in? What in
I'd
terms
probably
of
say on
value and
affordability, and I guess after looking at this weekend, affordability and where Son was positioned for most of the goals, I think he's probably your best bet if you want to go for best all-round and consistent performances. You know he'll play almost 90
mm,
minutes every game. He'll have impact on the game. They look for him still very often when they need to make things happen. Solanke, I'm not sold at the moment. I think he's he's doing a lot of what Harry Kane was doing previously, just without the goal impact on games. Right? So he drops deep, holds the ball up, brings players into play. Obviously doesn't have the distribution, but I mean his build-up play has been really good for the team, but I think impact in the final third hasn't been there as much. I think Kulusevski is probably another decent option at the moment because he looks quite nailed as well. So
mm,
other players will likely get rotated. I think he'll play every single game because he's also got the fitness levels and the engine for it as well. And the fact that he's contributing in the final third is good. And I think at his price point is better. I mean, I love Brennan Johnson with his previous, I guess, results at the moment, and he is running on rather ahead of the striker anyway. So he's probably a decent impact as well. But I think Kulusevski is going to probably be much more involved in games. I think going forward, from a defender's perspective, and we chatted about it also in the group. I think Porro's the better option, but Udogi's a better price.
yeah.
And Udogi looks like he's getting into the box much more because, I mean, if you see him very often in games, he's always in the box at the byline looking for a pull, cutback for someone to try and take a shot on. I mean, he did it this weekend, but he's done it quite a few times
What
over the past
yeah,
few weeks.
what I
So,
don't like about Udogi, I had him last year, the start of last year, and even though he got me a lot of points, Pedro Porro wasn't even starting last year.
yeah,
He gets a yellow card every game,
a yellow card, 100%. I was going
every
to say,
game.
he's prone to a booking, yeah. Because
So,
defensively, I don't think he's always in a good position. So
hmm,
sometimes he needs those cynical fouls to get to
yeah.
recover.
So there's just one thing to note. What did you think of West Ham?
Ah,
Bowen,
they're bad.
Kudus, they're bad.
They're really
Overall, they're
bad.
bad.
They're really bad.
Their
Yeah.
midfield can't cope at this moment. They just
Yeah.
don't have the midfield.
I don't
Um,
know. I don't know. I don't know how they sold Ward-Prowse, and I think
yeah,
that's the most
a-
surprising part because
and
it's the work rate that they're missing in that
yeah,
midfield at the moment.
and Ward-Prowse isn't the most prolific midfielder, but he's still an
Yeah.
improvement on that team.
Mm. That
It's
Rodriguez guy looks like he's having a shocker. That
yeah,
Edson Alvarez guy, he did really well last season, so I'm surprised to see him struggling this. I don't even think he's getting a game this season. I think it's Suchek and this
yeah,
Rodriguez guy starting
Rodriguez.
most
Yeah.
games, which hasn't been that great for them. So I actually don't think this manager will last, to be honest.
I
I
also don't
think
think so.
he's probably got a couple of games in him, and if he is one of the someone posted a picture in the week on Twitter. I think the next game is West Ham United or something, or within the next couple of games
Yeah,
they
it's
play each
soon.
other,
Yeah.
and it's El Sacico. So whoever probably loses that one very likely gets sacked.
I feel bad for West Ham because there was a lot of hype around them, but I don't think they got the right
Mm.
manager for the job. I don't think they have the right players. And Antonio again looked good, so it
Yeah.
just shows you that they're not improving. They're kind of stagnant at the moment, which is a
Mm.
bit of a shame. Uh, and then we can move on to Villa Fulham. I don't know if anybody caught that game. Um, I thought Villa were quite lucky, to be honest. I thought Fulham played quite well. They got. I also. Did you guys see the red card there
The red card was for who was it? Oh,
for
Anderson.
Anderson?
No, I missed it.
It wasn't really a red card to me as well. It was also a last man tackle, I think. From what I can remember, I was very little in it, and that changed the complexion of the game. But Rogers got the first goal. Lucky
Yeah,
deflection,
massive deflection.
massive
Wow,
deflection. But I guess if you're getting
I
in
loved
those
it.
attacking areas, you're gonna get those points.
Mm.
He's gone up again, 0.1. Jimenez with a great goal. It was a great finish, but it was a little bit of stagnant defending.
Yeah,
Luca Dean with the assist for the third own goal, so Razeen was happy with that one. Um,
At
one of
least,
his
at
FPL
least.
Cartel moves.
yeah, um, Watkins got a goal, so I was happy with that. There's a lot of money to have for someone who you worry about his returns, but he seems to be consistent for now.
But
So
he's been consistent for you, right? Since you've had
yeah,
him at.
since I had
Has
him.
he blanked at any of them? I don't think so. Since you've had him.
He's blanked against United. There was a 0-0 draw there,
Okay.
so that was the only blank. But otherwise, like I just I don't know. It's a lot of money to invest, and I'm looking to. My goal was always to sell him eventually, but because he's performing, I've just kept him. So I'll have to I'll have to figure it out. And Calvin Lewin is the other striker I have that's doing absolutely nothing.
Yeah, he's gone off completely. I'm still happy with McNeely got an assist this week, and there was a penalty shout there that was against him at some point in time that they yeah, overruled. So fortunately, I didn't have to lose that one clean sheet point that he gave me.
Who takes penalties for Ipswich? Do you know?
I don't know actually. I honestly assume it's Delap at this point, but I have no idea.
Sure. Any comments on the United Brentford game?
I watched the
Marcus
whole thing.
Rashford, boys. What a
What a
performance.
baller! But what a ball for that Garnacho goal! My
Brilliant.
word.
Cartel
Too good.
moves.
Yeah.
That was a proper one. But that one also I told you guys beforehand. So
I don't know. I think Garnacho would be a
He was
player to look
amazing
at.
that whole game.
Yeah.
But he was causing trouble to that Brentford defense every single time he got the ball.
Hoyland is also maybe a shout. Um,
Mm.
but I'm still wary of United. I still stay a bit far away for now, even though they have good fixtures. But I mean, you took the chance, Rosine. It's paid off, and I wish
but
you
not
luck.
enough. I was just telling some friends the other day as well that I got Foden in. I was very, very disappointed when they got the winner, but when I found out later that it was Foden's assist, I was a little bit, there was a wry smile on my face. But I mean, it's not good enough, this 4 points and 5 points. Even Son's, I think 8 points that he finished on. It's like, they all return, but just look at my points and it
Yeah,
doesn't
it
really,
Mm.
shows the
But there were
importance
no
of
big
captain.
hauls.
It shows the importance of your
Yeah.
captain,
yeah, it does.
especially
It
in these
does.
type of game weeks. I think it's disappointing for you because you wild carded. For me, it's great. Like every week, I can get by like this without wild carding. It just means I have that in reserve, and I can play the move and hopefully benefit from the move come game week 12, 13. So that's my long term plan. But I think stick with it. You've played the wild card. You looked at the fixtures long term. So um, be
But after
patient.
Southampton, Haaland out.
I also it's such a difficult move.
I don't know if
Um,
I don't know if I'll be able to watch football again if I do that.
I
Uh,
think since Bilal is stopped, we can do this now, and we can do it on here, and you can clip it for the beginning of the video if you want. But this video gets 20 likes. You gotta take Haaland out of your team, bro.
I don't see myself taking Haaland out of my team, but I I don't even see us getting 20 likes. So
Come on, you gotta commit to it. Trust me, I can get us 20 likes, bro, if you're doing it.
let's see if I'm playing my wild card. That's the only reason to take Haaland out. Because if you're gonna take Haaland out, you're gonna spread funds. Otherwise, there's no point
Yeah.
really. I'm not gonna do it over
Unless
four
you got one of
weeks.
those mini wildcards like I'm about to play hopefully this week or next week.
Yeah, I don't. And I have too many issues on my team. But we'll get into the teams. We'll just have a quick chat about the rest, and a little bit of a longer chat about Liverpool fixture because that was my favorite. Newcastle Brighton, disappointing from Newcastle. Um, I had Hall, so I was even more struck by that result. But they really I didn't watch the game. I didn't read much into it. Welbeck scored, came off injured. Just something to note. He might not be fit for the next game. But Newcastle not looking good. I'd also stay away from their assets at this
Mm.
point. Um, we spoke about Southampton, Leicester, Everton, Ipswich as well. Nothing much there apart from Keane. Um,
Yeah, what a bullet of
yeah.
of a goal into the roof of the net. Wow.
I told you guys when Razeen asked about Myolenko, is his
Mikalenko,
name
yeah.
Mikolenko. I actually said if you're gonna put an Everton defender, just put Keane because it's the cheapest, and they're not gonna keep a clean sheet. They ended up keeping a clean sheet. He ended up scoring. So
And he's kept a couple of clean sheets, right?
yeah,
And he's
it's 2-2
also
now.
he's got a couple of goals as well.
Yeah, it's 2 goals for him. They similar to United. They have it feels like they have more defensive attacking returns than attacking returns. Um, Keane's got I think just as much goals as Calvert-Lewin at this point. Uh, City Wolves we spoke about, but what do you guys think of City as a whole? Do you think still title contenders, like
Not
still
convincing
favorites?
recently. I think but I think De Bruyne's back soon, from what I've been reading. So
Yeah,
I think he'll transform the team. I don't think they're feeling the Rodri miss as much, to be honest. I don't think it's as bad as it might have been. I think they still need to find probably a solution with their wingers. I think that's been their biggest issue at the moment. So I mean, Savinho's been bright, but Doku, I'm not convinced still.
I was
But they
looking
look
at.
way better once Foden came on.
Mm.
Yeah, I think they're just too strong, and I don't think there's anybody else. Arsenal have shown that they're not in contention for it. Um,
We're running
Liverpool.
away with it this season.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah,
What did
at
you
the
think? So
moment.
so Liverpool Chelsea. What did you think?
Not bad. Seriously, I think coming back from
Yeah.
international break, you know what we were capable of in terms of shocking performance, the way we did against Forest. And I think this time, we came alive more slowly, but we did eventually, and we did enough to win the game. Only just, but we did.
I actually think
I think Chelsea were better than I expected. But I told you I don't think Chelsea will sit back, and they didn't.
yeah.
They looked to play, and I think Liverpool looked vulnerable at times, which is I guess the more concerning part. And
But the
I
referee
think
was
without,
horrible.
yeah, no, he wasn't great.
In what way? What decisions do you feel?
Just everything just felt wrong about him. All the small things, not even the big ones. Okay, I'm not saying that the penalty should have been 100% clear as day penalty. I think you could have looked at it a bit more
I think it was
because
a
I mean,
penalty. I
I thought
I
it was
genuinely.
a
also
pen.
think
As
it
soon as I
should have
seen
been.
he kicked at him when he kicked Mus effectively, and I thought the penalty was fair. As
The,
soon as I seen it happen, I was like, it's a pen, bruh.
it's a
No, I'm talking
penalty.
about the one that wasn't given.
The
Both.
Salah dive one.
No, the Jones one. I think both were penalties to be
The
honest. The Chelsea
keepers,
one.
Sanchez's
Yeah,
Sanchez is on Jones. Yeah.
I thought that was a
Oh yeah,
penalty as
and
well.
on. I thought it was as well. Yeah,
Because they ended up even the commentators ended up saying, "Oh, Sanchez wins the ball," but he wins it onto Jones. So
Yeah.
nah,
technically, Jones wins the ball
Exactly.
back.
hundred
Yes.
percent.
If
Nah, it
Sanchez
was
doesn't take him down, Jones is in control and scores.
yeah.
For me, that
No,
was a
I
penalty.
think they were a little bit dodgy, and I really hoped that penalty stood.
All of us did. All of us
Yeah.
did.
Besides Razeen.
Besides Razeen, which
No,
we'll
But
get
in
I
fact,
did
into.
Razeen
also. I
also.
I'm a
but
Liverpool
from a
fan
Liverpool
first,
perspective,
then an FPL player second when I'm watching Liverpool
Same,
play.
same. I think
But now
that's.
with no Salah in my team, yo, it was difficult. It was difficult.
How do you back against Salah? I don't understand. Right now, Salah is better than Haaland, in my opinion, as an FPL asset.
mm,
Um, Forest against Palace. And if you guys catch the
It was a
game,
good game. I
I
watched a
watched
bit of
it.
it yesterday.
It wasn't a bad game to watch. I watched it last. It
It
was
was
actually
nice.
a decent end-to-end game.
what was your thoughts on
I
it?
think Palace are bad. Forest were dominating a lot of it. I mean, Palace had some chances, but a lot of their shots were from outside the box. Chris Wood should have had a hat trick last night. It's not even funny
Should have. Yeah.
how many chances he missed. And Dean Henderson is absolutely shocking as a goalkeeper. That goal should
He
not
should
have
have
gone
saved
in.
that. He should have saved it.
He should
Yeah.
have saved it. Yeah, he shouldn't. He should have saved it. It should not have been a goal. So
Whenever Martin
I
Tyler
think
is on commentary, I really enjoy watching Monday Night
yeah.
Football.
Yeah,
No matter
he's
who's playing,
No, but
makes a
and
difference.
I think Forest defense they were okay. I mean they restricted Palace to chances out of the box. Nothing too deep. And Matt Sells was on fire. He was making save after save after save.
yeah.
So
We'll have a chat about Matt Sells because is he the 4.0 keeper, 4.5 keeper to have at this point? It
mm,
seems so because Forest seems so
Whose
so
bench is
competent.
he on?
We well, okay. Let's go to Mohammed Waseem's team over there, and I'll transition into that. And so I have the updated ranks and everything on the screen. We have Mohammed Waseem currently sitting at 407. It was a green arrow for you overall. Um,
yeah.
so, but yeah, let's just start with your bench. Cells 11, Semenyo 2, Mayenko 7. How are you feeling after that?
The
That whole
Mikolenko
bench
one,
didn't
I
get
don't
into my
think.
starting 11 and I wildcarded, imagine.
That Mikolenko bench, I'm not too unhappy about because all the three defenders I played out of played regardless. So that one's the one I have absolutely no regrets on. But the Cells one, I can't even tell you what I was thinking, man. I think in my head, if I had to play it back, I'm thinking, Palace have a better chance of. I thought Palace and United both would score against these defenses, and I thought that Man United would have much more chances. So Flecken would make a lot of saves, and he did. I mean, Flecken conceded 2 goals and still came out with 4 points. So it, in my mind, it was the right thing to. But I didn't consider Forest at home don't really concede goals. So, but I think actually, wait, no, it was
No,
Forest's
their
first
record
win
at
at
home
home.
has been, yeah, it's
Yeah,
been quite poor,
it's
the
actually
record at home.
it's actually their first win at home this season. Yeah, so I think I played some of that into my head, and I said, okay, Flecken seemed like the right move at the time, but I do have regret. I should have usually. It's better to back the home team against a team that's struggling rather than a team away. So
Yeah.
I have a little bit of regret, but I mean, it is what it is.
I know you have big transfer plans, but that's for the next episode. So
Mm.
we're gonna grill Razeen because of comments he's made previously. And go into the Razeen's team. As everybody can see, there's no Salah. And we were told specifically at the end of the last podcast episode that Salah is irremovable from your team, Razeen. What happened?
The vision, man. Sometimes you just get ideas and it's like all these whisperings in your ear. It's not healthy, guys. Trust me, it's not. But I don't know what to say, man. I mean, imagine Jota didn't get injured and he played the full
Mm.
game and he scored a goal or two. What conversation we'd be having right now? I mean, now currently in my head, 100% chance of me taking out Haaland, taking out Jota, getting in Salah, getting a different striker in, but after the Southampton game, not this week. But
Yeah.
it could have just went the other way. Almost went the other way. I mean, when Son returned, when Foden returned, when Rashford returned, I just wanted to put all your guys' messages about them being risky picks and about them being minutes risks. And I even forgot that Salah still has to play. And then as soon as I saw him walk out onto the Anfield pitch, I'm like, oh, here come the goal. And the penalty went in and it's celebration. And I was like, okay, I'm so happy, but I'm very, very gutted about FPL, especially yesterday when that Son assist got taken away. I was like, okay, no, I really need to find an excuse about coming on this episode today.
Yeah, the Son one would have been okay had that big haul stood. I mean, if that goal and assist stood, or the assist stood rather, it would have at least been a decent haul and matched Salah effectively in terms of the returns. That would have been great. But I think just there was no big hauls, and I think the Foden not starting was a surprise because I don't think he played many minutes for England as well, so I'm surprised Pep benched him, but I'm assuming he's probably playing Champions League this week. That's why.
Makes
It
sense.
it
So a
seems
friend and I have
strange.
a joint team. I don't know if I told you guys. We have quite a few mini leagues. We have a joint team. And we decided we're going to go without Haaland this season. And every single week, one of us say, are you sure? Let's just bring him in this week. Let's just bring him in this week. We didn't bring him in this week. We decided to captain Salah, and now we are on top of every
Nice.
single week. Having an insane
Yeah.
season. That's the importance of captaincy picks, like you mentioned earlier. We just seem to have gotten it right every single week, even though we didn't get it right with Palmer and we didn't get it right with Haaland's hat-trick weeks. It just pays off in the long run because now he's playing 3 times in a row. And once it
Yeah.
returns 3 times in a row, the order of the table will just switch again.
Yeah, but I think you can have if you play your card right, you can have backup for a Haaland hat trick, depending on how stacked your midfield is. But I've noticed
Yeah.
your team, just to say, like you above me in the Rhodium Sun League, so you and your friends team together is. I took a look at it this week. It looks really good. You guys have been doing really well, particularly with your captaincy picks. Without Haaland, it's looking good. So maybe we'll get.
Acknowledge us, boy. Acknowledge us. That's the name of our team. Acknowledge
Yeah,
us.
maybe your friend should also come on the podcast one of the weeks and have a chat
Yeah, I
with
mean,
us.
And tell us your
I'd be
moves
much
so we can
prouder showing
copy.
that team off. Be much
No,
prouder
no.
showing that team
I
off. So
just
definitely one of the days.
I just want to comment. We did speak about your goalkeepers last week, and Mohammed Waseem was very critical of it. It ended up not paying off, and
No, but that's a short term.
short term.
I
Mm.
expected that this week. I did expect it
Yeah.
from this week, but I expect it to work in the long run. I do. Until Allison's back, I think this will work, and then I'll just make a plan to switch Keller out for whoever else is performing. Maybe Sal's is a good option on the thing. But obviously it depends who rotates well with Sanchez. But I think I like it.
Okay. Um, I'm gonna transition to my team. I didn't make any transfers. I rolled my transfer, so I got stuck with a lot of very average returns. Watkins saved my week with 8 points. And Salah with the important goal and assist. I got so many gaps to cover up. I got no bench. I got two Liverpool defenders in a hard period, and Trossard still, who seems to needs to come out at this point. Um, so I'm looking at options. But we'll get into that. We'll get into future plans next. That's just my game week. Quite boring overall. Momusim, you wanted to speak about Jackson from Chelsea, and I'll have him
His
up now.
consistency, yeah, his consistency's been great recently. I think throughout the season, I actually don't even know if many people actually own him, and I've seen him pop up on a few teams that I've actually been scrolling through on Twitter. So I think with him, and I think he's reasonably nailed, plays a lot of minutes. I think at least 70, 80 minutes consistently every game. Because Nkunku seems to be the guy that plays the Europa Conference League games, and Jackson plays the league games. I think while he's fit, he's getting into the right areas. I mean, and with Palmer and the like supplying him at the moment, he seems to be doing really well. So I've been considering him as that like mid-price striker in my front three at the moment because I've been thinking Solanke is probably not doing the job for me at the moment. So what are the alternative options for me to consider to get someone in and maybe to also get some more Chelsea cover? Because I don't know, I think the fixtures are not too bad at the moment, but they're also not too great. But I think they're going to turn at some point in time. So he's someone I'm looking to see that if
Yeah.
Chelsea fixtures do become really good and I want to double up on them, Palmer Jackson seems to be a decent combination.
I have it up on screen now, so we can see next six fixtures: just Newcastle, Manchester United, Arsenal, Leicester, Villa, Southampton. It's really not the worst when it seems like just
And all
Arsenal.
teams defense
Yeah,
and all those teams can't keep clean sheets at the moment, right?
yeah.
They at least concede a goal a game and maybe even multiple at this point in time. So only one or two of those teams probably like Arsenal
Hmm.
and Villa are probably teams that might be difficult, but the rest of them I think all take goals.
I really like Jackson as a player. I think he's very aggressive and he's very in your face as a type of striker. And I think Chelsea benefit from that. Drogba used to be like that, and
Yeah,
he just
Diego
needs
Costa.
yeah, he just needs to work on the finishing a little bit. But it's not like he's the worst finisher. I would
But it
definitely
seems it's gotten better this season compared to last. Last season I know he used to miss a lot of chances. This
yeah.
season I don't see him missing as much.
Hmm. So
Is he my Haaland replacement, guys?
that's also I'm thinking same thing
Yeah.
at the moment. To go Haaland, I'm not Haaland. To go Havertz, Jackson, and Watkins. No Haaland.
That's a great front three. That's a really good
Yeah.
front three.
So maybe wildcard. Gameweek 12, boys. 20 likes. I'll do it. You can clip it there. Um, I'll go into the next player. Josko Gvardiol. Um,
What a goal. What a goal he scored, man.
I didn't watch it actually. I have no
This is a
idea.
beauty.
I wanted to bring him into the team for Trent. I decided against it last minute, but it
If you
was
were
there
in
in
the
my head.
cartel, if you were in the
If I
cartel,
was
you
in
would
the
have made the
cartel,
move.
if I was in the
You should have
cartel.
asked me, bro. I would have told you. You see, you don't ask me.
So I missed out there. But 10 points, and he's seemingly consistent with City. It's still Pep to worry about because he's got Champions League.
Yes.
I feel like he will
Mm.
start Champions League, and then you never know.
But I think fitness levels of Guardiola compared to I think some of the other defenders in City is really good. So I
Yeah.
think that's why he probably plays way more games compared to the others. The others maybe I think him and Diaz are reasonably nailed. I think
But
the others are more prone
yeah,
to rotation.
we think that, but Akanji was dropped all of a sudden. He's been
That's
playing
true.
every game. Stones has come in, and Stones, you feel like Stones is going to be nailed, but you don't
Yeah,
know. And then, because Stones all of a sudden does really well, Stones can play as a six
yeah,
as well, all of a sudden, but you just don't know where anybody's going to end up.
yeah.
And
But apparently there's news that Walker might be out for a while. So I suspect Akanji is probably being saved for Champions League games to play as that
yeah,
inverted right back.
but Ake was on the bench as well,
Yeah.
so
He might risk Guardiola's minutes as the left back as well.
that's the concern. I,
Mm.
I'm watching it, but I'm still concerned. Pep is just a dangerous man to tackle, and
Yeah.
Razeen learned that the hard way this week.
I mean, I got my assist, but yeah,
We spoke about Dejan Kulusevski, so we won't spend so much time on him. But just looking at the Spurs fixtures: Palace, Villa, Ipswich, City, Fulham, Bournemouth. It's pretty decent fixtures,
Yeah.
apart from the City game. I think there is goals in it. The only thing is, I still feel Spurs a little bit inconsistent.
They are.
Like
They are.
you want to bring in a player who also feels is going to win right through.
But I think at least with Spurs the consistency is winning games, not necessarily consistency in getting goals. So
Yeah,
you'll see them in most games create chances, score goals. Whether they win a match after that is another story. But I think there'll always be goals, and I suspect Kulusevski is probably involved in that. And hopefully they hit a good one for a few games just to climb up the table a little bit.
hmm. I have Matt Sells up next on the screen. We spoke about him as well.
don't worry.
Looking at his fixtures: Leicester, West Ham, Newcastle,
Oh,
Arsenal, Ipswich, Man City. So a little bit. It seems like three good, three bad. But
the best thing to do would be to check that City game week and Arsenal game week.
Mm.
Who's the best alternative in those two games?
yeah, I would. I'll be looking at him. I wish I didn't go with Henderson. um,
We
otherwise,
all wish. I really expected Palace to be so much better this
yeah,
season, but it looks like they just lost Olise and that team just went to
yeah.
absolute. They just crumbled.
Um, I have Jürgen Strand Larsen up on the screen next, and just to talk about Wolves in general as well. He's gotten a few returns now.
Mm.
I think he's playing on the wing though,
No,
coming
no, he's
in.
playing up top.
Is he playing up
No, he's
top?
playing up top. Yeah,
Is
he's playing up
Cunha
top.
playing
So
next to him
Cunha
or
Cunha
behind
moves
him?
off. So Cunha moves a little bit off to the left hand side, like more as like a number 10,
Mm,
sometimes inverted from the left side. But Strand Larsen's the one playing down the middle.
yeah. So I mean, he's an option. He's 5.5. I think the cheaper
Mm.
forward would be Archer from Southampton, but I have less
Yeah,
faith in them. And I mean, Brighton, Palace, Southampton, Fulham, Bournemouth, Everton is their next six fixtures.
yeah,
Given the
That's
run that they had, his returns are very impressive. I mean, they already played
it
Liverpool, they
is.
already played City, they already played
Mm.
Arsenal, they already played Chelsea. So yeah, it's actually very, very interesting.
yeah. Um, how did Wolves play against City? I didn't catch that
Really
game.
good. They played really well.
Mm.
I think the difference with them this game compared to their previous games, they're much more compact.
Mm.
So they defended better. They pressed a little bit better. I don't think they created many chances again. I mean, there were a couple of chances here and there. I mean, City are going to keep the ball a lot, so I didn't expect them to create much. But I think they were more rigid as a team, and they played much better um, compared to previous games. Other games, I think they just looked like really weak and like easy to break down and create chances. Whereas the Standard are much more solid, and I think if they can play similar to how they played, then with a little bit more solidity, they'll create much more chances and then probably get
Yeah.
much more goals.
I
I
think
think Cunha also is a decent option.
yeah.
Actually, I was looking at Strand Larsen not too long ago as well. That's like hopefully. I mean, either him or Cunha might be a decent shout for a third forward in your lineup at this point.
Mm.
It's so many though. It's a very difficult choice to actually make
Mm.
considering the amount of between 5 and 6 million pound forwards that they're available.
Yeah, it looks like Wood is the best at this point at the 6 point
Yeah.
mark, and Jimenez up there. But I mean, if you want to go cheaper, you're gonna go rock
Mm.
bottom almost. It looks like
Yeah, no.
he's really good.
Yeah.
It's
I
gonna be
think I
between
think
5.5 and 6.5.
yeah.
Mm.
I think the Fulham pictures are turning for the
Good.
worst, I
No,
think.
it's looking good,
Yeah.
I think.
Is it? I
Yeah.
don't know. Maybe I
Um,
was just yeah.
let me see. I'll quickly get up the Liverpool. I mean the s- the Fulham fixtures because I was actually looking at them and I was looking to bring in um, looking at Jimenez and keeping Robertson. So their next fixtures are Everton away, Brentford at home, Palace away, Wolves at home, Spurs
Oh
away, then
wow.
Brighton. So they
That's a
have
great draft.
yeah. So they have Everton, Brentford, Palace, Wolves all green. Spurs is red, and then Brighton is green again. So decent fixtures.
All games
Um,
that they can score goals in as well, right? I
yeah,
mean, even the Spurs and Brighton games are probably the more
and,
difficult
and
ones.
and they do have
You
really
think they'd
good.
get returns there.
They have a really good manager and they have a really good way of playing.
Mm.
It's just about them grinding out the results in terms of where they end up in the league, but they are producing.
Yeah.
So I actually a big fan of uh,
Marco Silva.
Marco Silva and
Yeah.
Fulham. So hopefully they produce some points. 'Cause I got Robertson still in my team. That's all from us this week. Anything else you guys wanna add or talk about?
No,
Insider
not yet. I
information
just
is more than welcome. You can follow me on Instagram and hit me up.
I'm just gonna be tinkering a lot, I guess, over the next week. I've got 4 free transfers. I'm
Yeah,
gonna try and take advantage of some of this soon. So hopefully in the
Proof
I look
next
forward. Yeah,
discussion.
I look forward to the next episode. This week hopefully. So keen to see what you guys do. If you guys want to do it Thursday night instead, I mean it's a bit
Yeah.
soon, and chances are this episode is only going to go out tomorrow because I'm leaving for work now, and by the time I get home, it's going to be at like 10 a.m. tomorrow. So I'll only sit and edit it tomorrow, and then I'll have it out tomorrow. But we can do it Thursday as well. I really don't mind. Otherwise, we
It should
can
be
do
good
it.
either.
Yeah, deadline is pretty early Friday, so might be better to do it
Yeah.
Thursday if you guys are free.
Okay, let's keep in touch and we'll make a plan.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop the stream there. Um,